So here's a video I didn't really want to make, and I hope you'll forgive me for its raw nature. But it just got to the stage where I've not had a great day, and now I feel like renting. So what's it about? This little chap. This is the MyFlyDream autopilot. Now this was in my FX79 Buffalo Wing, and if you've been following my videos, you'll know that it took an awful long time to get that flying, and thanks to the help of several of my friends and advice all over YouTube, we finally got that going. I was with Richard, Flyboy C, who was experienced in the MFD, and he really helped me get that tuned in. What you didn't see after the last video is that as soon as we got that tuned in, we were ready to go and try and fly some chase stuff. I put a new battery in, everything went haywire. The servos were flecking all over the place, the power cycle kept happening, we didn't know what it was. We had a couple of looks on things on the field, but rather than push it, I decided to take it home, have a proper look and see what the issue was. I took it home, I couldn't see anything physically wrong, so I unplugged everything and I checked all the wiring out, plugged it back in. It seemed to fix the problem with it going haywire, but now I had no video connection. Again, I checked all my wiring, I checked all my pins, everything's right, but no video was there. So it looked like I've had a failure in my MFD autopilot. And that's just one of those things. FPV is quite a new thing, some of the hardware is quite experimental, and with any consumer electronics product, you're going to have failures. Okay. So I wrote to Charles, or emailed Charles at MyFlyDream and said, help, I've had a problem, this has happened, can you help me? And nothing, no response. That's weird. I'd exchanged emails with Charles before, because actually this little thing wasn't particularly well from the start. I found when I first plugged this in that I had a VTX problem, and further investigation showed that one of the pins on the back had basically the solder joint wasn't in the right place, so there wasn't a connection there. So I exchanged email with Charles, and he advised that I could take a ground from somewhere else. We also had a loose heatsink issue, which he said wasn't a problem, don't worry. So with his advice, I worked around the issues. So I was really hoping he'd come through again, but absolutely nothing at all. I wrote to them again, and I checked all the emails on the website, and I wrote to everybody on the email list, but still no response. Meantime, some of my friends and colleagues on FPV Hub were putting in orders with MyFlyDream, and they were getting increasingly frustrated. We had things like ordering stuff, getting absolutely no acknowledgements, paying for expedited shipping, and the thing just not turning up for weeks and weeks. Even the indication of when orders were being processed and ready to send out, they weren't getting sent out until there were enough orders to make it worth their while. Basically, they were like, oh, well, we've got your order, it's ready to pack, but we're waiting for more orders to send a lorry somewhere in China, somewhere else in China, sent out. Worrying signs. Meantime, I went away on holiday, and during that time, some 2 weeks after my first mail, I got this email, basically saying they're too busy at the moment. Oh no, we're too busy. Essentially, I translate this as like, hi, go yourself, from MyFlyDream. There doesn't seem to be any indication that they want to help me or are going to help me. So what do you do? As far as the features of this thing go, look, I don't have a problem with the hardware. It's, when it's working, one of the most solid autopilots I've seen. And I know a bunch of guys absolutely swear by them, and the track is also very good. Great stuff. But you can't really run a business without decent customer support. This is not just a case of he's like a box shifter, you get it and that's it. The whole thing about Giles and MFD was he was supposed to be both the developer of this stuff, but also a flyer and someone who was into RC. And thus he would give you help and advice and try and give you support, but that's not happening. So what is this video? Apart from an angry rant from me, because I've had a bad day, it's a public invitation. Charles, if you're watching, and I'll send this to you. Please get your together and run your business like a business. But also, there's a warning here. If you guys are thinking about getting an MFD autopilot, MFD tracker, something like that, and they're good pieces of hardware, as I said, don't buy it direct from Charles, because you won't get any support. Will you get it sent out? Who knows? He hasn't fixed it. If you can get it from a reputable dealer who stocks it, brilliant, because you'll be supported by them, we hope. A reputable dealer, of course. And, you know, this is not just a problem with Chinese dealers. I've bought stuff from Good Luck Buy. I bought the Storm OSD, Banggood, Hobby King. I've had individual problems with hardware or orders from all these places, but I've always got it sorted out. Occasionally, you know, I've gone around houses where when I got my Buffalo wing, there was a small defect in the wing, and Hobby King wanted me to send the entire thing back. And Zeta Science, also in China, just said, oh, here you go, we'll send you out some bits and got it repaired. Ditto with the Storm OSD. I couldn't get any feedback from the retailer, but the developer sent me a new motherboard and it's all sorted. And that's generally because lots of people developing this stuff are in the hobby and they want to help you. But not this, not MFD. Customer support is everything. Sort it out. Come on, Charles. Let's see what you can do.